Fertilization to embryonic development. Fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube within 24 hours of ovulation because that's how long the egg lives. Millions of sperm are released in an ejaculation, but the majority do not survive the acidic environment of the vagina, the female's immune system, and some go the wrong way. Only a few dozen of the best swimmers make it. When the sperm reaches the egg, the acrosome releases enzymes to digest the jelly-like coating surrounding the egg. The sperm membrane fuses with the egg membrane, and the sperm nucleus enters the egg. So the sperm makes contact with the egg. The acrosome releases enzymes to digest through the protective layers. The plasma membranes of sperm and egg fuse. Then the sperm nucleus enters the egg. Once it does, the egg secretes substances which inhibit any other sperm from entering. Here we see the egg membrane. Sperm nucleus has entered. Right after that, the egg would undergo meiosis II, releasing a polar body. Then the egg nucleus would join with the sperm nucleus to form a zygote nucleus, which is 2N. So the egg undergoes meiosis II and releases a polar body. The sperm nucleus and egg nucleus fuse to form a zygote. That zygote is the first single cell of new life. The blastocyst, a few days later, we can tell it is a blastocyst because a cavity or space appears in the center of the mass of cells. The chorion, the outer layer of the blastocyst, forms later on the placenta and the amnion, and then the inner cell mass will develop into the embryo. Right after ovulation, remember within 24 hours, the egg is fertilized to become a zygote. Then we have cleavage or cell division, which is mitosis, to form a morula, and then later a blastocyst. While it is a blastocyst, it implants in the endometrium with help from the chorion. So day 1, we have the first cleavage, which means the cell divides by mitosis. Day 4, around there, the cells continue to divide and are called a morula. Day 5, the cell begins to move around. The cells begin to move around to form an inner and outer layer. Day 6, the two layers of cells arrange themselves around a hollow fluid-filled cavity. The actual cell mass is now called a blastocyst. Day 7, while it is a blastocyst, it implants by means of villi and enzymes secreted by the chorion. It implants itself into the endometrium, resulting in pregnancy or gestation. We can remember the word gestation if we pronounce it guest station, and remember the baby is a guest in the mom during pregnancy. The chorion secretes HCG, a hormone which stimulates the corpus luteum to produce progesterone and estrogen, maintaining the pregnancy for the first 3 months. Stem cells from the blastocyst are undifferentiated, or in other words, totipotent, and can be used for stem cell research. Ovulation occurs on day 14 of the menstrual cycle. Right after ovulation, remember the egg has to be fertilized within 24 hours or it will die. Once it's fertilized, it is called a zygote. It undergoes mitosis to form a morula and then a blastocyst. The outer layer of the blastocyst, the chorion, helps to implant in the endometrium. It also secretes HCG for 3 months. That HCG then stimulates the corpus luteum to produce progesterone and estrogen for those 3 months. How to remember the stages. Zebras make better guacamole every Friday is the phrase we will use. Zygote on day 0 is the sperm plus the egg. Morula on day 4. Then we have the blastocyst, an important stage because that's when implantation occurs. The outer layer, the chorion, helps the implantation process, secretes HCG, and forms the placenta. The next stage is the gastrula stage, when the germ layers form. The 3 germ layers are the ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. Also during this stage, neurulation happens, the formation of a neural tube, which will become the brain and the spinal cord. So in terms of the layers, the mesoderm, with the M in it, is middle, ectoderm is outer, and endoderm is the inner layer. After a gastrula, it is called an embryo, and it's on around day 10 when the chorion starts to form the placenta. Then as of week 8, it is called a fetus because all the major organ systems have started to develop.